You got to this computer, okay. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavadpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakritau Vande Bhagavantu Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagini Vyomavadvyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktin च तत्पुत्र पराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्द योगीन्द्र मथास्य शिष्यं श्री शंकराचार्य मथास् हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तन्तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यानस्मन् गुरुन् सर्वस्मि सच्चिदानन्दं साक्षात् सच्चिदानन्दं प्रत्यगद्वयमक्रियं तन्नमामि ऋषियसि योगी गम्यं परं पदम् श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. So moving further, at the end of the Upodghata, Bhagavan Sureshwaracharya says what he said. Atha Ashesha Vedanta Sarasangraham Prakaranam idam arabhyate. Ashesha Vedanta Sarasangraha. So here Idanim Tikakara says Idanim Prakarana Lakshanam Upapadayan. While describing the Lakshana definition of Prakarana, definitions to expressing that this is a Prakarana that he is beginning, what does he do? Prakarana Arambham Upapaditam. What he has indicated that this Prakarana has to be started. This is a Prakarana, it has to be begun. Upasamharati concludes saying what? Ashesha Vedanta Sara Sangraha Prakaranam idam arabhyate. So what is a Prakarana? It is a Sangraha of Sara. It is a collection of the essence of Vedanta. And Ashesha means Vedanta is qualified by Ashesha, meaning complete Vedanta. Whatever is the Tatparya of the Vedanta, complete Vedanta Grantha is focused towards whichever Tatparya, that is the very Tatparya of this Grantha also. And in essence, all the main points or the Tatparya Vishaya is put together here, and therefore this is a Prakarana which is begun now. Arabhyate Karmani Prayoga. So Uktaritya, Tikakara explains this. Yataha Uktaritya Prayojanadinam Sadbhavaha. Purva Pakshi had objected that there is no Prayojana. Nahi Prayojanam Anuddishya Mandopi Pravartate. That is a Nyaya. Purvamamsaka says that Bhagavan Kumar Lavatta says this as to without looking at Prayojana, what I get, without looking at that as to what benefit will accrue to me, whether it is, yes, selfless interest also. You do something for the others. Right? Let's say I do something for the others, I showcase, see, I've done this, satisfies my ego. Or if somebody is in trouble, helping that person out, it is a very good pursuit, or undoubtedly dharmic karya. But it does bring me ananda. Somebody is suffering makes me suffer. I'm a good person, let's say. Somebody is suffering makes me suffer. And helping that person out makes me happy. So somebody may call me a good person, sadhu person, whatever. But the fact still remains that other person's dukkha is the cause for my dukkha. And I want to avoid my dukkha. So even in the most selfless pursuit or selfless activity, there is self at the center. So it is not selfless. From the perspective of sadhana, I am looking for ananda. My dukkha is troubling me. I want to do away with my dukkha. The others dukkha just happens to be the reason for my dukkha. So I want to remove the cause for my dukkha by removing the cause for the other person's dukkha. So ananda is at the root of the selfless pursuit also. There is nothing wrong in it. It's a fact. Because if you look at it in the selfless pursuits also, Advaita will finally tell you that person's suffering is your suffering alone. Why? Because there is only one Atma. Taken different shariras, with sadhu bhava you connect with others' suffering also. You melt. The heart melts with others' suffering. That's a good thing. But still, it is the self that is suffering as though. That's at the root of our sadhana. So the other person is not really other. There is no other. Anyway, uh, to pursue anything, you need a prayojana. That is a sandarbha. And Purva Pakshi has said that in your grantha, there is no prayojana. There is no phala. In the Anubandha Chatushtaya, prayojana is the mukhya ansha there. So prayojanadina, and then prayojana is there. Then what is the sadhana towards that? Who is the adhikari? What is the vishaya? Sambandha, all that will come in. So prayojana being there, moksha is the prayojana, and that is through jnana. This grantha will give jnana, and that jnana is sakshat karana for anavabodha, ajnana removal. Removal of anavabodha or ajnana. Therefore, this grantha that leads to samyak jnana has prayojana. That samyak jnana is the prayojana. And therefore, the one who wants that is an adhikari, one who wants moksha, and through samyak jnana it can happen. One who is convinced that person is an adhikari. The vishaya is jnana, of course, atma jnana, and sambandha, pratipadaka, pratipadya sambandha. The samyak jnana, atma jnana is revealed by this shastra, which is the revealer. So there is a revealer revealed sambandha, connection between the grantha and the prayojana. Therefore, yataha yasmat karanat uktaritya prayojanaadinam sadbhavaha, since prayojana etc. are there, anubandha chatushtaya is there, therefore what sadhanantara anadhinancha prayojanam, and further what, another reason, not and, sadbhava, prayojanadinam sadbhava, since prayojana etc. are there, and that prayojana which is samyak jnana is sadhanantara anadhina. It is not adhina, dependent on what? Sadhanantara. Sadhanantaram is what? Anyat sadhanam, sadhanantaram. Another sadhana. Since the prayojana is not attained by another sadhana, therefore, these are the two reasons. So, therefore, because of these two reasons, prayojanam is not dependent on sadhana, other sadhanas, and it is dependent only on this sadhana, Shravana Mana Nidhyasana, which is discussed in the Grantha. Therefore, Anubandha Chatushtaya being there, and that prayojana cannot be attained by any other means, ityartha. This is the meaning. Therefore, prakaranamidam arabhyate. Connects with the mula. Ityartha. Yataha yasmat hetoho. These hetu, yasmat heto prayojanadinam, as discussed, uktaritya, it has been established already. Sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, one adhikari is there who wants this moksha phala through samyak jnana. Therefore, anubandha chatushtaya is met with vishaya sambandha also. And thereby, another sadhana also cannot give result the way grantha will give samyak jnana, this prakarana. Therefore, ashesha vedanta sara sangraham prakaranam idam arabhyate. Where is it? Therefore, ataha. So, yataha will connect with this ataha. Yasmat, this sthiti is there. Ataha, therefore, this prakarana is begun. Okay, I think enough spoon feeding there. Now, let's pick up because after this, there is not much of, once this setup is clear as to why the grantha is being created, the mukhyansha is clear, then slowly it will build up across pages, across shlokas. There is not much of sambandha there, sambandha ukti there. There is little bit of tika. Okay. Now, these so many words have been used. Ashesha, Vedanta, Sara, Sangraha, Prakaranam. What are all these? Atra Ashesha Vedanta Shabdena. By saying the entire Vedanta, Shastram Darshitam. That is the Shastra. What is Prakarana? Prakarana is one bhaga of the Shastra. Then what is Shastra? Shastra is, here in this context, it is Ashesha Vedanta Shastra. Complete Vedanta Shastra. So, Ashesha Vedanta Shabdena Shastram Darshitam. Veda Vedanta Shastras. But Veda, not entire Veda, only Vedanta Bhaga. But Veda Karmakanda Anga will be taken as a Purva Paksha. Tatrapi Nishprapancha Brahma Pratipadaka Shastra Eke Deshena Sambandha Dyotanaya Sara Grahanam. Then why Sara? Sara is because in Vedanta also there is Upasana Kanda. In fact, in Brihadaranyaka, towards the end, towards the end or fourth chapter, I don't recall where, but in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, somewhere there is karma also mentioned. This person should do this kind of a karma, what ahuti he should do, that part is also there in Upanishad for a sadhaka. Then upasanas are definitely there. Through and through all Upanishads, there is upasana. People who don't get upasana, do upasanas, they set it aside. There, it is difficult to get ekagrata. Chitta Shuddhi also, but primarily ekagrata. Very difficult to focus on the tatpare vishaya. Mind is not trained to get to the subtle aspects. So upasana is recommended. In Shastra it is given, in Upanishad itself it is there. But anyway, they cannot lead to moksha directly. They'll just take away pratibandhaka in ekagrata, give you ekagrata, give some chitta shuddhi, give some punya, but then Shravana of Mahavakya has to act for mukti, jnana utpatti. So for that purpose here, Sara has been mentioned in the Mula. Ashesha Vedanta Sara of the Vedanta. What is the Sara? Tatpare Vishaya. Not Upasana, not Karma. Even in the Vedanta, there are Avantara Vakyas, not Avantara Vakyas. The Aikya Vakyas, which are called as Mahavakyas, are the Prayojana, are the Sara. Not the Prayojana, sorry, are the Sara of entire Vedanta. Therefore, Tatrapi Nishprapancha Brahma. That Brahma, which is not Saguna, Nirguna Brahma is the Tatpare Vishaya. With Aikya also Vakyas, Mahavakyas, what is taken away is Samashti Vyashti Bheda. Samashti is Saguna and Vyashti is also Saguna. The gunas which are contradictory are taken away and what remains is Nishprapancha Brahma, Nirguna Brahma. So Nishprapancha Brahma is revealed as one without a second. So there cannot be Samashti Vyashti Bheda. You are the Nishprapancha Brahma Swarupa. Nishprapancha means what? Neither the Samashti Brahma is Jagat Karta, nor you the Vyashti Brahma, Atma, Jivatma, is a samsari, does not have connection with prapancha as a samsari. Prapancha is samsara. So neither are you samsari nor is he Ishvara or she Ishwari is Jagat Kartri. Jagat Karta or Jagat Kartri. There is no other. There are no others jivas. So there is only one Brahma which cannot have any prapanchanam at the samashti level also to become the Jagat or appear as Jagat, nor at the Vyashti level to have sambandha with that part of one part of that Jagat as a Sharira, carve out a part from the Jagat and think yourself as limited to that. That kind of a thing is also not a fact. Therefore, Brahma Pratipadaka, this Nishprapancha Brahma Pratipadaka Shastra is Ekadesha. Is Ekadesha of Shastra. Not Shastra is Ekadesha. Shastra is complete. Ashesha Vedanta is Shastra. And Sara shows that this Nishprapancha Brahma Pratipadika Vakyas, Mahavakyas, or those which are leading to that Aikya, some supporting statements, those are Ekadesha, means one Bhaga, one Anga of that Ashesha Vedanta Shastra. And thereby Prakarana. Prakarana Lakshana is going to come up. Here he'll give you the shloka. So that which caters to one part of the Shastra and covers the other aspects of the Shastra indirectly, that is called as a Prakarana. That is the Lakshana of the Prakarana. Therefore, Saragrana Kutaha Kimartham, sorry, Tatrapi Nishprapancha Brahma Pratipadaka Shastrasya Ekadeshena Sambandha Dyotanaya Asya Granthasya Saragranam. This Grantha has connection with the Mahavakya and those aspects which lead to the Aikya. In the entire Vedanta also only those parts which give the relation as, Samashti Vyashti and then leading to the Aikya between the two, that is the Sara of the Vedanta. Therefore, Saragranam. That is the only sambandha of this Grantha. Tatrapi Vistarena Pratipaditasya Sankshepena Pratipadanam. But so many places there is a discussion, lot of details are given, lot of Purvapaksha is taken, so many Astika, Nastika, Purvapakshas are there. This Grantha does not cater to all of them. So it is not that detailed in every aspect. but it is detailed in some aspects, does some hand holding in some aspects, and then covers the other aspects through this journey. Therefore, Vistarena Pratipaditasya, what has already been discussed in Bhashyas, Tikas, elsewhere in Prasthanatraya and some other Prakarnas also, Brahma Sutra, etc. But still, Tatrapi Vistarena Pratipaditasya Sanshepena Pratipadanam. Here there is only brief discussion of those. That sets a Sara also, but in the Sara also, Sara Grahana indicates not brief. Sara Grahana indicates the essence, whereas the Sangraha shows that it is brief. Therefore, तत्रापि विस्तरेण प्रतिपाद संक्षेपेण प्रतिपादम कार्यांतरम दर्शयितुम संग्रह ग्रहणम. Although it is covering briefly, still it will cover the other aspects also through these. Karyantaram. Because other vakyas have karya, they are not futile vakyas. Vedanta vakyas, only the Sara vakyas are not the important ones. Although they are important, others are also needed. They also have some karya. So their karya is also covered indirectly to show that darshayitum sangraha grahanam. That sangraha word. Sangraha here it should have been non-bold because it is from the mula. Tad evam. How so? How do you land on this conclusion? He says that there is a prasiddha shloka. Shastraikadesha sambadham shastra karyantare sitam ahuf prakaranam nama grantha bhedam vichakshanaha. Ahuhu. Ke ahuhu kim ahuhu. So grantha bhedam vichakshanaha ahu. Those who see differences between grantha, they understand, they say, what do they say? They say that Shastraika desha sambaddham shastra karyantare sthitam yat tat prakaranam nama. Whatever is connected, sthitam, how it is connected, sambaddham, with Shastra Ekadesha, with the Ashesha Vedanta's one part, Mahavakya Sara, and Shastra Karyantare sthitam. And it is also indirectly achieving what is given in the given as the karya of the other part of the shastra, anyat karya also. Anyat karya also sthitam. That is called as prakaranam. So that is the anvaya there and the meaning. Iti ukta lakshana lakshitam idam prakaranam iti. So uktam yat lakshanam asmin shloke. In this shloka, whatever is the lakshana definition mentioned, this grantha, this prakarana fits that. Therefore, tena lakshanena lakshitam idam prakaranam. By that lakshana, this prakarana is lakshita, it is defined or indicated also by through that definition which is given in the shloka. Further what? Further now, proper introduction to the first shloka by the Mulakara, to which the Sangati in the Tika goes as Idanim Pratishlokam Sambandoktim Arabhamanaha. Kaha Arabhamanaha? Sureshwaracharya. Bhagwan Sureshwaracharya, who is Arabhamana, who is beginning this. Shanach. So Sambandha, what beginning? What Sambandha Uktim Arabhamana. He is beginning the Sambandha Ukti, statement of the connection with the shloka. This is Sambandha. The prose part of the Grantha in the Mula is called as Sambandhokti. And beginning that, Idanim Pratishlokam, and not in only in one shloka. Every shloka will mention the Sambandha where needed. Every is generic. It is not each and every, but many places he'll give the Sambandha himself. What do you say as Sangati? What is the Sangati to this? And then the Tikakara will also connect and elaborate. So, Idanim Pratishlokam Sambandhoktim Arabhamanaha Pratama Shlokasya Tatparyam Darshayan Sambandham Aha. Showing the Darshayan, showing the Tatparya of the first shloka, Pratama Shlokasya Sambandhama. What is the connection? He states that Tatra Abhilashita Artheti Mula Tatra Abhilashita Artha Prachayaya Prakarana Artha Samsutranaya cha Ayam Adya Shlokaha. Ayam Adya Shlokaha Bhavati. This is the first shloka. This is the first shloka. For what purpose is this shloka? He gives two hetus. Tadarte Chaturthi. Cha. There are two hetus he has given. Tadarte Chaturthi. Tatra Abhilashita Artha Prachayaya. Whatever is the desired Artha Prayojana. What is the desired Prayojana? Samyak Jnana. Samyak jnana. Tasya prachayaya. Prachaya is what? So that prachaya, you can say prachara also loosely. Prachaya means among the shishtas, followers, let there be, diffusion of this grantha. There can be spread, vistara. Let there be usefulness. Finally, what? Usefulness of this for the shishyas. For that, what should you do? Mangalacharana has to be done. Mangalacharana is for what purpose? So that I can finish the grantha. There are multiple prayojanas to Mangalacharana. Shishta, the Shishta Upayoga. There is a Shishta Pravrutti also. And not only Shishta Pravrutti, Shishta should have Pravrutti. That is an intention. Mangalacharana, they should do Mangalacharana. Every class we begin every patha with as much Mangalacharana as possible. Thankful to Bhagavan, thankful to Mukhya Acharyas, thank you to Grantha Acharyas, their Mangalacharana. Some Shanti, otherwise Shanti mantras. All these are there in the Sampradaya. Why? Because we tap the grace. Not only does the Granthakara tap the grace so that he can finish the Grantha, that it can be done well, it should finish in time, it should reach others well, it should spread and be useful for others for all these purposes, and so that they should also follow the same Sampradaya of praying. For that purpose, we have Mangalacharanas. So does the Granthakara also here. So that is one reason. Abhilashita Artha Prachaya is one reason. Tasmai Tadarthya. Prakarana Artha Samsutranaya. And also to show briefly in a sutra manner, as an aphorism, in a very shortest manner is sutra. Sutranaya. In the form of sutra, showing as to what is the artha prayojana of this prakarana. Prakaranasya ya artha tasya arthasya samyak sutranaya. Very well putting together in very few words as to what is the prayojana of this prakarana. Anubandha Chatushtaya, entire thing will be hidden there in the first shloka, Mangalacharana itself. Therefore, Adya shloka. Tika, tatra prakarane Adya shloka. अभिलषितार्थस्य अभिलषितः यः अर्थ अभिलषित अर्थः प्रकरणान्तः तस्य प्रचयाय. प्रचय means what? तस्य प्रचयः शिष्य परंपरया शिष्ट परिग्रह तस्मै. Tasmai, for that reason. What reason? He says tatra prakarane. Tatra means where? He says in this prakarana, in that prakarana which is going to be begun right now, Mulakara says Adya shloka, first shloka. Ado Bhava Adya Shloka, which is coming up in the beginning. What about that shloka? He says that is Abhilashita Arthasya, meaning what? Abhilashitaha Arthaha. Prayojana. What is the Prayojana? Prakaranantaha. Prakarananta is Prayojana. What is the end of this Prakarana? Goal, end goal of this Prakarana? Prayojana. Abhilashita Artha Prayojana Prakarananta Prayojanam Prakarananta Tasya Prachayaya. Prachaya is what? Not only the end goal, everything. Artha, prayojana. The entire reason for the grantha to come up. He says all those reasons, whatever is the set of reasons, tasya prachaya. Every idea which is there in the grantha, all that also, artha. Every aspect of the, you can take artha as aspects, artha as the main meaning. Whatever is the idea or whichever ideas are put together here, and then jato ekvachana, tasya prachayaya. And what is prachaya? Prachaya is shishya paramparaya shishta parigraha. In the parampara of shishtas, it should continue. See, today, after so many hundreds and over 1,000 years, we have got this grantha being studied. So this is the prayer working. The Mangalacharana working, this is the pramana there. Shishya paramparaya, we are still studying today with the same respect that it deserves. So shishta paramparaya shishta parigraha, it is useful. Tasmai, that is one reason. Upalakshanam idam avignena parisamapti shishtaachara paripalanayoho ishtadevata namaskarasya vidyayam antaranga sadhanatva suchanasya cha. So this is an upalakshana. By mentioning just the prachaya, it covers other aspects also. What is it? It is not only, that my grantha should reach others. not that kind of a selfish thinking. It is not selfish. In fact, grantha, creating grantha, retaining it, teaching it is not selfish. Somebody may think, oh, today it seems easy, you type something, get it done, compared to earlier times. So it is not, that ego that I'll create a grantha for others' purpose. He has created a grantha and he has said, he is going to say here in Mangalacharana, it is for my study I am doing it. That it helps others is good, but then it is for his own conviction and pariksha that he is creating this grantha. So that's a modesty anyway. So upalakshanamidam. This is an upalakshana to show what other aspects. Avignena parisamapti. Let the grantha get completed without any vigna, any obstacles. And parisamapti, that is one part. Many second reason, indicating that also. And shishtachara paripalana yoho. Second as putting together what is it? Shishtachara paripalana. Let the shishtachara of Mangala, doing Mangalacharana, let that continue so that it benefits others also. So let others also follow this. Therefore, Ishta Devata Namaskarasya Vidyayam Antaranga Sadhanatva Suchanasya cha. What is the third thing he is pointing out? Other than Prachaya, three more things he says. One is Prachaya literal meaning Shishta Paramparaya, Shishta Parigraha. Let it continue to be studied and be useful. Then Upalakshana for what else? He says Parisamapti. Let the Avignena Parisamapti. Let it, get complete. The Grantha get completed without any obstacles. Then Shishtachara Paripalana. Let the other Shishtas also follow this Mangalacharana and continue teaching, create more Granthas themselves. And further what? Ishta Devata Namaskara. Why one should do Ishta Devata Namaskara? Because Ishta comes from the heart, not only as dharma, oh, because I should pray. No, I like the deity, a particular aspect in which the Jagatkarta Ishvara presents himself for my sake, to bless me as a devotee. I feel as a devotee of this particular form of Bhagavan, whether, a particular male, female form, or, Narsimha kind of a form, mixed, whatever form in which I feel comfortable, I feel close, I feel a devotee, in that form Bhagavan blesses me, who is himself formless, cannot even be called as he or she. Therefore we say what? Brahma, Napunsaka Linga. Napunsaka, he can take any linga. Napunsaka means what? He does not have a linga. Not that neither male nor female the third, but not the third gender. He is without any linga. Napunsaka means does not have a linga. That's the idea there. Neither pum nor stri nor napunsaka really. That's what it means. Linga rahita. Because formless. Lingam kutaha. There is no form at all. So formless, nameless, that kind of a Ekameva Advitiya Brahma takes form for my sake and therefore becomes Ishta. And that Ishta Devata, I have to be thankful, and Namaskarasya. Why should I be thankful? Because Vidyayam Antaranga Sadhanatvam Tasya. That Ishvara Namaskara in the form of Ishta Devata also when you do, that is part of Vidya itself. Vidyayam Antaranga Sadhanatvam. It has direct connection to your Vidya. You'll feel the difference when you start studying. The Mahamalleshwar Acharya of Kailash Ashram, he used to say, whenever you study, whether you study at home or in Gurukula, you put up an asana, you should have clean hands, you should clean yourself, take a wash your face, wash your hands. Generally, basically, sampradayas, you light a lamp. It is a study of what? Bhagavan, who is in the form of you. And then you fold hands and with upasana, doing dhyana, you do Mangalacharana shloka. It is not just blabbering. Mangalacharana with Shraddha. Otherwise, generally, you'll get some phala, you'll have some understanding. We think that, we have understood, but then there is some Vishesha Labha. That Vishesha understanding, nobody can tell us as to what that is. We know what it is. When we understand that way, we may not be able to express that aparokshatvam is the phala. That is a Vishesha. So we get that Vishesha. So Vidyayam Antaranga Sadhanatvam. It is a sadhana, Antaranga sadhana, very closely connected, Sakshat sadhana for Vidya. Therefore, Nastikas do not get it. Only Astikas will get it. So Pramanyatva is there and Ishtadevata Namaskarasya Vidyayam Antaranga Sadhanatva Suchanasya cha. Suchanasya cha kim? Suchanasya Upalakshanam idam. Idam Upalakshanam. This Prachaya which is mentioned, that is an Upalakshana for these other things also. Three things. Prakaranasya Arthaha Vishayaha Prayojanancha. So what is the Prakaranartha? Prakaranartha is Prakaranasya Vishaya and Prakaranasya Prayojanancha. What is the subject matter of this prakarana? What is the prayojana? What is the phala of this? All that is covered. Tayoho samyak sutranam. Tayoho samyak sutranam. Meaning what? Sutranam means what? Putting it briefly. Sanshepena suchanam. Tasmai cha. So that is the second aspect mentioned there. Second Tadarthi Chaturthi there. Samyak samsutranaya. So samyak sutranaya. Sanshepena suchanam. Samyak is what? Samyak Sutranam. Here Sanshepena Suchanam. Briefly putting the entire Prayojana and Vishaya together in this one shloka. Tatra Hetu. Why are you doing it now? He says because the first shloka, it has to be done now. When else will I do it? It's always better to tell others. Otherwise you spend, you give some 50, 100 shlokas and then say, this is the Prayojana and the Vishaya. The person says, oh, I didn't know, I wouldn't have come here. Why will I study this? This is not meant for me. Now you are telling me I am not eligible. Somebody who is like, paid fees and then says no refund. First itself, the conditions apply, no refunds. So no time. Here anyway, no money involved, but still time is money. I have put in so much of time and now you are telling me it is not focused towards me. No. So first shloka itself, he is going to tell you what is needed. Not only that, after 100 slokas, if you tell me, I should have been doing Mangalacharan also. Is it Antaranga Sadhana? I didn't know. I've been just, coming. In fact, there are many in the Gurukula used to say, they used to see how much time it takes for the Mangalacharana. Okay. So Kailash Ashram, they do all the 10 Shanti mantras and very slowly they'll do. So in a 1 hour class, initial 6-7 minutes and ending some 5 minutes, they are all Mangalacharana. So around 13-15 minutes go in Mangalacharana in the beginning and the end. So people are very calculative. With Mahamandaleshwar himself used to say, they purposely come late. No, I came late because for a different reason. I also got late. So it's not valid to make that akshepa. I'm sorry. But still, people plan to be late so that they, Mangalacharana. It's okay. I know it. Why should I do it? That's not the attitude that we need to have. Aparokshatvam is not possible otherwise. So they used to plan to come late. You get late is one thing. You plan to come late is another. There's a lot of difference there. So here he says, now this Mangalacharana Ishtadevata Namaskara is Antaranga to Vidya Prapti. Therefore it has to be done. When should I tell you? I should tell you in the beginning itself, not in the end or somewhere in between. So that is the reason Adya Shloka iti. Tatra hetu Adya Shloka iti. Adya Shloka. And then further what? Yasmad ayam adyaha. How is that a hetu? This Adya Shloka is a hetu, you said. How is it a hetu? So he says Yasmad ayam adyaha. Adya Shloka. Ayam Shloka Yasmat adya bhavati tasmat. Since this is the first shloka, therefore Shrotrunam pravrityangataya sukha avabodhaya cha atra eva suchaniyam ubhayam. He says these two things, Vishaya and Prayojana. Why should any study, why should I do it? Prayojana. First I tell you, you will get this. Do you want it? Yes. Okay, I'll do it. Then what is the subject matter? I mean, okay, this is the phala, but many places like in Loka, there are many ways to get some Prayojana. Like reaching a particular place, you can take different roads. So you map it out. In Google Map, how do you go? Oh, we'll take this route, we'll do that. So here also there can be other routes. So what is the Vishaya here? Now I'm interested in the Prayojana, but not this Vishaya. Give me some other Vishaya and get me the Prayojana. Possible. So with that attitude, Vishaya also. So Vishaya and Prayojana are discussed first. Then of course, actually Vishaya Prayojana means what? Anubandha Chatushtaya. Am I an adhikari? I should know for this phala. Am I qualified enough to get the Vishaya so that I get the Prayojana? I want the Prayojana, but I'm not qualified, so I should get the qualification. So Vishaya and then Sambandha. How I'll get this? What is the sadhana? How will I get it? There is a Vishaya, all right. There is a Prayojana, but how will that Vishaya connect to Prayojanas in such a manner that it will connect me, the adhikari, to Prayojana? Finally, Vishaya may have some Pratipadya Pratipadaka Bhava, but what about me as an adhikari? How will I get it? Let that bhavatu tatha prayojanam. Prayojanasya विषयेण संबंध भवतु तथा. तेन मम किम आयातम. What do I get? So I should also be connected to the prayojana. How will I be connected? Oh, you as an adhikari will get samyak jnana, that revealer of the tattva, this vishaya, as a revealed aikya. It is showing your aikya only, not the sambandha of the grantha. Grantha shows how you are connected with the prayojana, that aikya is the vishaya, you are connected in such a manner that it is your swarupa, it will be revealed. Praptasya prapti. That is the sambandha, your sambandha. Adhyasika sambandha, it will show that adhyasika sambandha, it will take it away and your swarupa shines forth on its own. Aparokshataya. Praptasya prapti. So you will also be connected. Therefore, Adya Shloke Yasmadayam Shlokaha Adya Bhavati Tasmat Shrotrunam Pravrutti Angataya. As an anga of the pravrutti, it will prod you. Do you want this? It'll give you a lollipop. Do you want this? Yes, take it. So just like you give a kid a lollipop, So something, some advertisement. What do I want? So initially you have to tell me. Briefly you tell me, don't give me all details. Just briefly tell me, what are you going to give me? What will I get with this grantha? If I am interested, I'll come in. Then you can tell me. Then you give me the rules. This will apply. You have to do this. You have to do that. Don't tell me initially. You don't tell me all that. Just tell me first what will I get. So here, Yasmadayam Adyaha Shlokaha Tasma Shrotrunam Pravrutti Angataya. It is sadhana, anga to my pravrutti. Otherwise, my pravrutti won't be there. Therefore, initially, the author has to tell me. Because it is anga to my pravrutti. Therefore, pravrutti angataya sukha avabodhaya cha. Further, what? Sukhena avabodhaya. Sukha there is adverbial. Sukhena avabodhaya. So that I easily understand all the aspects. I get a slight, glimpse into what this grantha is all about. Therefore, atra eva suchaniyam. Kim suchaniyam? Ubhayam. What is ubhayam? Vishaya prayojanancha. Both are to be talked about here in the first shloka itself. That is the author's mind. Further, what? Ishta devata namaskarascha karaniya iti. Karaniya, kartavyattvena. It has to be done. Ishta devata namaskara also has to be done. Therefore, it has this shloka is at the beginning. And therefore, what? Khanileti. Khanileti is the shloka. Khanilagnyabdharitryantam srakphani vodgatang yataha dhvantachide namastasmai haraye buddhisakshine. So namaha, kasmai namaha, padacheda, khanilagnyabdharitryantam, one word, srakphani iva udgatam yataha dhvantachide namaha tasmai haraye buddhisakshine. So namaha, kasmai namaha, tasmai namaha, tasmai haraye namaha. That is the main word, pankti there, anvaya wise. Tasmai haraye namaha. Which hari? Says yataha khanilagni abdharitrantam srakphaniva udgatam bhavati tasmai haraye namaha. To that hari, Ishta Devata, my namaskara, yataha yasmat, from whom? Apadane Panchami, from whom, from which hari? To that hari is my namaskara, from whom? Kha is Akasha, kham. Kha is Akasha. Anila is Vayu. Agni well known. And up Up is hidden here. It has become Agnyab. Agnyab, up is there. Up is what? Up is water. And Dharitri. Dharitri is Prithvi. So all the Pancha Mahabhutas. Dharitri Antam. Dharitri Antam means what? Bhautika also you can say. The entire Bhuta Bhautika Prapancha. It stands for Prapancha. Has Udgatam. Has come up. How has he come up? How has the entire Prapancha come up from Hari? How? Srakphaniva. Srak. Srak is Srak Chandana. You have these words. Srak is Mala. Garland. And Phani is Sarpa. So what is famous in Shankara Bhashya, Bhagwan Bhashyakara's words are what? And in Tikas you see a lot of what? Rajju Sarpa, Rajju Sarpa. There is other way also. Rajju Sarpa means seeing Sarpa instead of Rajju. Other way also you have seeing Rajju instead of Sarpa. More harmful physically also. So here Srakphani. Not Rajju Sarpa, not Sarpa Rajju. Srakphani, Mala Sarpa. Same as Rajju Sarpa you can say. Idea is what? Mala is there, Vyavharika Satta. Phani is, Sarpa is Pratibhasika. So like the Sarpa has come up in the garland. Has it ever come up? Trikala Nisheda. Never there. Even in the time of Pratiti, it is wrong. It is not there. The Sarpa is not there, but it appears. So this Kha, Anila, Agni, Up, Dhari, Dharitri, Antam, the Antam Jagat, the entire Prapancha is really not existent, but appears to be there. Not being there and appears, that is Mithya. Nasti, but Pratiti is there. Pratiti Matra is there. Nama Rupa Pratiti is there. Entire Prapancha has Nama Rupa Pratiti, like the Sarpa Pratiti, which is Nama Rupa Pratiti in the garland, instead of the garland. So all this is instead of Brahma Tattva, Atma Tattva, we see the Prapancha. We experience the Prapancha. We have interaction with the Prapancha as if it is real and source of my pleasure and pain. Not really there. And it has come up from this Satchidananda Brahma as Ishtadevata whom he calls as Hari. From that entity, from which entity this entire Prapancha with 5 Mahabhutas in the beginning of the creation, so to say, have come up, have been created. How have they been created? They have really come up like Sarpa in Mala. What kind of Hari? Kidrsha Hari Sa, Dhvanta Chidaha and Buddhi Sakshina, Sakshi. So Tasmai Dhvanta Chide Buddhi Sakshine Namaha. So he is Dhvanta Chid. Dhvanta means he removes the Ajnana. Ajnana, remover of Ajnana, and Buddhi Sakshi, Sakshi of Buddhi. So Sakshi of Buddhi means what? In each and every individual, wherever there is Buddhi, he is there as Sakshi. So he is there at Vyashti level also. And Srakphani eva Udgatam Yatha, by it shows as what? He is the Jagat Karta, Samashti. So Samashti, Vyashti, Aikya is talked about here. Already shown. The Namaskara is done to know the Samashti, Hari, Paramatma, Ishvara is none other than the Buddhi Sakshi, Pratyagatma. Aikya is shown here as Vishaya. Prayojana is Aikya Jnana. Vishaya is Aikya and Prayojana is Aikya Jnana. And what is the Prayojana? How do you get that Samyak Jnana? Dhvanta Chide. So this word shows that he is the remover of Ajnana. So Ajnana Nasha is the Prayojana. That is Samyak Jnana. And that Samyak Jnana will come from this Aikya being revealed by the Grantha between Samashti and Vyashti. Ekameva Dvitya Brahma. So this is the verse there. So Anvaya is what? Yataha Khanilagnyabdhiritryantam Srakphani iva Udgatam. You can say Bhavati, Abhavat, whatever you can add, or not add a verb also. Tasmai Dhvantachide Buddhi Sakshine Haraye Namaha. Okay. Further what? Atra Udgatam iti Karya Jatam Uchyate. So there is a tippana here, not very, not Samasa is mentioned there. What is that? Like Swapnantam, Jagratantam, those who have studied Upanishad, there is a word there. So includes basically with Samasa Vyutpatti, he'll just show that Bhuta Bhautika Prapancha. Okay, so atra udgatam iti karyajatam uchyate. What is udgatam? Karyajatam. Karyajatam is entire prapancha, which is karya. That is the karya. So prapancha or jagat. Udgatam means jagat. Karyajatam. Jatam here is samuha. Jatam means what? Samuha, sangraha, group. The entire group of karya means entire karya. All karyas meaning entire prapancha, jagat. Tadeva visheshyam, and that is the visheshya, substantive, to which there are adjectives. And what are the adjectives? Tasyeva कार्य जातस्य विशेषणम खानिलाग्नि अबधरित्र्यंतम. So if you put visheshana visheshya bhava, what will you say? Yatah खानिलाग्नि अबधरित्र्यंतम udgatam. Or you can say खानिलाग्नि अबधरित्र्यंतम कार्य, this udgatam karyam yatah yasmat bhavati tasmai namah. So Karyajata has a Prapancha Jagat has a what Visheshana? Khanilagnya Abhitrintam. Yes, Amma. Radhika, you have a question?
No, sorry, that was a mistake. Sorry.
Okay, no issues. Tatra Srakphani iva yataha bhavati tasmai. So Tatra Srakphani iva, like the Sarpa seen mistakenly in Srak Mala, garland, yataha bhavati, from which? Tasmai, to that entity. Who is that entity? Dhvantachida. Dhvantachide buddhi sakshine haraye namah iti sambandha. Sambandha means this is the anvaya. How the words connect, that is anvaya. So sambandha. You've seen this. The buddhi sakshi and who is remover of ajnana, that kind of a hari, namaskara. My namaha. Tatra srakphani iva. Why did he say srakphani iva? Iti aramba parimana, aramba parinama vyudasaya. Arambhavada and Parinamavada is removed. Possibility of Arambhavada is removed. Possibility of Parinamavada is removed. What is Arambhavada? Arambhavada is of Tarkikas. What is not there is created. Therefore, they say the Utpatti of Ghata is from what? From Pragabhava of Ghata. Pragabhava should be there. Earlier, it wasn't there. Meaning what? It is what? Asat Karyavada. Arambhavada is Asat Karyavada. It was not there. Prapancha was not there before creation, it has been created. Parinamavada, Sankhyas follow. Satkaryavadis, we are also Satkaryavadis, Vedantis, but not Parinamavadis. In Satkaryavada, there are two aspects, Parinamavada and Vivartavada. We are Vivartavadis, we are not Parinamavadis. They say Parinama. The Karana changes into, it is, the Karya is already there in Karana, but the already there. And that's why what? The Karana can transform itself into Karya. Like what? Like the milk becoming curd. That is the example of Sankhyas. Parinama. Milk turns into curd. Similarly, Pradhana, Jagat Karana Prakriti, they'll call it as Pradhana, which has no sambandha with Purusha. Satchidananda Brahma converts into Prapancha in the form of Prapancha. That is Parinamavada. They say yes, Jagat is there in the Karana. Why? Ghata is there in Mrit. Then Tarkika will say, why will Ghata is there in Mrit? We don't see Ghata in Mrit. So Sankhya will say, if Ghata is not there in Mrit, then can you create Ghata out of milk? You cannot. You can make curd out of milk. You cannot make Ghata out of milk. If the Karya is not there in Karana, then any Karana you can take, and without Karana also you make. Take something else. Take milk and make Ghata out of it. You can't. Some random example I'm taking, since we already talked about this example. Why should the Ghata be born, clay pot be born out of clay itself? Why can't you create from milk? Because it is there. The example is what? Like the sculptor carves out an idol from a stone. It is already there in the stone. Of course, only he can do it. That sculptor can do it, can carve out a sculpture, an idol out of the stone, which appears a stone. But then when he starts carving out, there is a karya from that. One example there. It's already there. Similarly, this ghata is already sitting in mrit. The ghataka karta, ghatasya karta, kumbhakara will give it a particular shape and bring it out. It will manifest. But Vedantis say that there is no change, like the milk turning into curd, without Brahma undergoing change, not Pradhana, Brahma. Maya with the Adhisthana of Satchidananda Brahma, who is called as Ishvara now, together with his Maya Shakti, he wields that Maya Shakti in such a manner that he himself appears as the Prapancha without undergoing any change. Himself. Maya undergoes Parinama, all right, but then Maya is Parinami, but really our Vada is Vivartavada. Maya is a Shakti which is inferred. Karyanumeya Maya. Inferred from the Karya, because Prapancha is there. Nirguna Brahma is the only Brahma. There is no other Abrahma, there is no other Brahma. Therefore, that entity itself has to be Karana, but Nirguna can never be Karana because Karanatva will be a Guna. Therefore, something else should be Kalpita as some middleman, as a middle woman here. Maya, Prakriti. So Karyanumeya, since we are sitting in the Karya, experiencing Karya, and Karya cannot be born out of that only entity which is acceptable as Satchidananda Brahma is accepted as being there as per the Shastra, that Brahmatma is Nirguna, cannot have Karanatva Guna, but Karya is already there. Karya cannot come without Karana. Where will you attribute Karana? Karana has to be attributed to what is there, which is Karanatva will be in Brahma, but Brahma is Nirguna, cannot have Karanatva. So you imagine Shastra imagines, I mean, you in a sense, Shastra imagines something. Says that, yes, I'll answer your question. I'll bring a Madhyastha. Maya. Oh, the Maya is there. Is it second? No, not second. Some Maya kind of a Shakti which is not separate from the Shaktiman. That kind of a Shakti is there. Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. All these Shaktis are possible due to that Shakti, Maya, which has, the Sattva, Rajas, Tamo, Gunatmika. That is the Swarupa of this Shakti, which is Abhinna from. Not bhinna bhinna. Abhinna, we say what? Is abhinna, but not sat or asat. We cannot say it is sat or asat. It is non-different from Ishara, Kalpita. Why? Because Kalpita is always non-different. You cannot say Sarpa is separate from the Mala here. Sarpa, Mala is appearing as Sarpa. There is no Bheda between the two. There is Abheda. There is Abheda because imagined is never different from you. The imaginary friend in childhood, some children do not have friends. They imagine, have an imaginary friend. They are playing. Chaitra and Maitra are playing. Chaitra finds Maitra is not there that day. He imagines a friend, and as if he is sitting with Maitra being there, Chaitra is talking to him, imagining that I will say this. He'll reply all this. Not Maitra, someone else. Let's say Maitra is really existent there, but let's say some Devadatta imagines a Devadatta. When he fights with Maitra, also says, I don't want to play with you, I'll have another friend. So all this is imaginary. That imaginary Devadatta is not different from Chaitra, Yatha, Tatha. Similarly, this Sarpa is not different from Mala. The Prapancha is not different from Brahma. It is all Nirguna Brahma appearing as Saguna. So what happened? How much did you change? As a child, how much did Chaitra change when he imagined Devadatta? Not that, he is seeing reality and saying that, okay, there you can say, the example is only so much. He's not schizophrenic or anything. He's not a psychotic. It's just, something to entertain. So, it's like, or rather a better example is Ekapatri. Ekapatri is only one actor playing all sorts of roles on the stage. Appears as a man, as a woman, as everything. This is the Ekapatri is Brahma here. Never underwent any change. Appears so. So here, we are gone beyond the time. So anyway, so here what? Tatra Srakphaniva iti Arambha Parinama Vyudasaya. To refute the Arambhavada and Parinamavada, and further Hare Buddhi Sakshine. Why Hare Buddhi Sakshine? Iti Samanadikaranyam. Hari is what? Jagat Karta, Paramatma, Samashti. Buddhi Sakshi is who? Is Vyashti. I am Buddhi Sakshi. So Vyashti and Samashti Samanadikaranyam. Iti Samanadikaranyam. Both are in four case singular. Visheshana Visheshya Bhava. Why? He says the Hetu is there. That Hetu Samanadikaranyam shows what? Pratyagatma Paramatmanoho, meaning Vyashti Samashti Pratyagatma, I, the real I, innermost self, and Paramatma, the Samashti Jagatkarta Paramatma, Tayoho ekatva lakshana vishaya dyotanaya. The vishaya is what? Aikya between these two. So to say two. The jiva who finds himself as samsari and asks help from the Jagatkarta, asamsari Paramatma. And then slowly Paramatma reveals through his words in the form of Shastra through the Guru as to you are not different from me. That is what Paramatma is doing. That is how he is helping out. Paramatma, that is the Vidya Angatvam, Vidya Antaranga Sadhanatvam of Namaskara to Hari. Here. Why? Because this is how he will reveal. So you cannot say, I don't care for Namaskara. We have to care for Namaskara because he is the one who is going to help us out. Sitting within, pushing, pulling within, and from outside pushing inside. Your buddhi should go inward. So Paramatma in the through the Guru, through the Shastra, in the form of Guru also what pushes our introspection inside towards the self, not towards the Vishaya outside, like Tarkika's Padartha Pariksha. All that is fine. But still, Atma should not become one among many Padarthas. It is yourself that is the only Padartha. So Bhagwan pushes your thinking towards within, tunes it towards within, and as Buddhi Sakshi within, pulls inside and then becomes one. Both are one, reveals that both are one. And Dhvanta word has been iti samanadikana Paramatma Pratyagatma Paramatmano Ekatva Lakshana Vishaya Dyotana and Dhvanta iti Dhvanta Chide Dhvanta iti Ajnana Nivritti Lakshana Prayojana Kathanaya. And why Dhvanta? Because he is one who is going to take away the Ajnana. Therefore, Ajnana Nivritti is the Prayojana. That is the Lakshana of the Prayojana. Ajnanasya Nivrittihi Lakshanam Yasya Prayojanasya. Tat Prayojanam Kim? Ajnana Nivritti Lakshanam Prayojanam. Then Karmadharaya between them. Tasya Kathanaya. To also state this fact. Okay, so that is the first shloka. We'll look at more in the next part. Yat sakshat satchidanandam pratyagadvayamakriyam tannamami nrusihasya yogi gamyam param padam. Any questions?
Swamiji, here Sri Hari means Vishnu Bhagavan.
Sri Hari is Paramatma in the form of Vishnu Bhagwan. Whoever you know as Hari, but Paramatma in the form of that, taken that form. Ishtadevata. Yeah. Anything else? Anyone else?
Ji.
Okay, I'll see you in the next part. Namaste.